welcoming everybody to this new session, which is now an open house for us for this session. Today is a very special day, but we have two speakers amongst us, keynote speakers. One which will be definitely introduced a little later in the session. First, setting the ground rules. This is an online session, so whenever you're moving or with this camera switch, I will request every one of you to have your camera switched on. And when you're moving while the cameras and mic are switched on, requesting you to please switch off the camera because it can distract the speakers. At the same time, if you are not speaking, please keep your mics on mute. At Toastmasters, we don't believe in speaking about sex, religion, and politics, but this is an advanced Toastmasters, so take responsibility and speak on. With this, I would like to, I might have missed a few other rules, like, keeping your handheld devices and mobile devices on silent mode while we are attending this. If you're on a mute, it does not matter, but if you're not on mute, then of course it does matter to all of us. So with this, handing over the stage to our presiding officer, Toastmaster 𝐒𝐤𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richa, for setting the ground for today's amazing meeting. So good morning, everyone. Can I have a round of energy from all of you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Very good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Today is a very, very special meeting because firstly, we are in the 100 years of Toastmasters celebrating this year of 2024. And we should consider Mic Testing Advanced Toastmasters Club's privilege that we are also celebrating our milestone meeting in this very milestone year of Toastmasters International celebration. We just completed our 300 meeting, and this is a recognition of our club's advancement, and we are celebrating today's milestone meeting with a great line of speakers. And we're going to hear a lot about Toastmasters, the importance of Toastmasters for people who are not aware of what Toastmasters is. But people who are aware of Toastmasters, it's all about kind of reinforcing that thought that Toastmasters' power is unparalleled to none. And we will be listening more from our speakers. But before that, I want to take a little bit of time in introducing our, or maybe understanding about our guests who have joined in today. And we have quite a few guests who have joined in our online meeting. We have Ganesh, Harsha, Sonu, Vinod, Pavitra, and Somyashri. 6 of them. So really great to have all of you here in today's meeting. Can we go in the order? Ganesh, Harsha, Sonu, Vinod, Pavitra, and Somyashri, in this order, and you can introduce yourself, unmute yourself, switch on your camera, and probably give one liner about how did you know about our club and what made you join today's meeting.
Hello all, good morning. This is Ganesh here. So yeah, basically I joined Toastmasters to improve my communication, but I was thinking about joining this for quite some time. But I was little hesitant because I was thinking that it will be too much into communication, and probably I'm not the right person, and for that kind of a job or that kind of a role. But recently, what I came to know about this Toastmaster is, in one of the group they posted about this particular advanced Toastmaster club, and I was told by one of my colleague, I would say, and he was staying in a apartment where I was staying earlier. He said that this is a good Toastmaster club where you can actually get into, and you will be developing your skills slowly. And then I thought, okay, why not let me try it out? That's the reason I'm here, to basically develop my skills, especially on the communication front, which I feel I'm lagging, but I'm not sure whether I'm lagging or not. Especially when somebody asks me to introduce, I always have a challenge to introduce myself because I don't know what to talk. Because I'm staying in Bangalore for last 20-25 years, and I'm working in Infosys, and for about 12+ years now. And yeah, that's all about my quick introduction.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh. It was like a mini icebreaker, not a full, but a mini icebreaker. And you are an amazing speaker from the way you spoke just now. And I'm sure if you join Toastmasters, you will be able to polish and hone your skills to a much larger degree. So thank you for joining and looking forward to your participation in today's meeting. Moving
Thank you,
on to
Abhi.
the next guest, Harsha.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Harsha. I'm presently doing internship at Scientific Technologies. I'm about to pass out in 2024, and my reason for interest to choosing this club is to become a confident communicator and become a leader and improve my leadership skills. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesh. I mean, you have taken such a leap of faith at such an early age. You know, when I was graduating like you, I didn't even know what Toastmasters is. But right now you are in a situation wherein you know what Toastmasters is and you're joining a meeting, which is hats off, and you are a good speaker. You are a very good speaker as well. Wishing you all the best, and we hope to see you in the subsequent meetings as well as a member. Moving on, Sonu.
Hello everyone, my name is Sonu Kumar and I am working as a hardware engineer in Agnesis, and I came to know about this Toastmaster through Sweety ma'am LinkedIn profile. Actually, I was rejected in many interviews for my bad communication skills, so I thought I should improve my communication skills as well as leadership skills, and that's why I came here.
Thank you, Sonu. I'm sure you would reap a lot of benefits once you join in. You will convert all your rejections to acceptance in very quick time. Ganesh, can we have an introduction from you, please?
This is Ganesh here. I had already spoken about my introduction.
Sorry, my bad. I think the Zoom is such, you know, it keeps on moving the people, so I get confused. Moving on to Pavitra.
Hi everyone, I'm Pavitra.
Pavitra, there's an audio issue. Probably will. You still can you hear us? Okay, we'll move on to Somyashri. We'll come back to you, Pavitra, shortly.
Hello, can I go ahead?
Yes, please, Somya.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Soumyashri and I'm an active Toastmaster. Currently, I'm part of Cisco Expressions. It's been 1.5 years and I'm in the journey of improving my communication skills. I hope I have improved 0.5 to 1% and I have a long path to run. Looking forward to gain more from Toastmasters. And I got to know about this event, open house event, from the Connection by C, one community group is there. No? From there, I got this link to register. So what caught my attention was the topic, the power of Toastmasters and elevating your pitch. So those topics got my attention and I thought I need to invest time and learn about these things and use these things in my journey. Looking forward to have a great session. Thank you for providing me all the resources to join here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sri. Looking forward to see you participating in this meeting. Moving on to Pavitra, are you okay to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me, Abhi? Okay, so I'm Pavitra. I'm from Tamil Nadu. And one of my friend has suggested me about this Toastmasters. So I'm very much good in technical skills in my career, but when it comes to communication, I'm very much lagging. So I wanted to join here and improve my communication skills.
Thank you, Pavitra. I think the best part about improving ourselves is realizing what our weaknesses is. And you know what your weakness is and you're working towards it. I'm sure you're going to get success in it once you work on it. And Toastmasters is the right platform, right forum for you to enable it for you. I think we did introduce all our guests who have joined today's meeting. Is anyone left? Shama, the Toastmaster with
Yes.
eye to detail. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. Okay, so today is the 300th meeting of 301st meeting of Mic Testing Advanced Toastmasters Club. And we are having an open house today with a line of two great speakers who are going to give us their insights about the power of Toastmasters, what Toastmasters can help in transforming, how it can help in transforming your life, and how you elevate your communication skills. And Mic Testing Advanced Toastmasters Club was formed, or the inception was in 2017, and we are actively running for the last 7 years successfully. And we are one of the only advanced Toastmasters community club in District 92. And we have so many luminaries coming out of this club. Bhupati sir, who is a DTM, there is Sangeeta ma'am DTM, there is Karthikeyan sir DTM, and we have a newly minted DTM who is Deepak Pinjani. So this is a club which has been giving distinguished Toastmasters for a very, very long time. There are more people to come in, graduating from this club as years to follow. Okay, so without further delay, let's start our keynote speeches. We have two great keynote speakers for today's meeting. Let me introduce about the first speaker, keynote speaker. She is an active Toastmaster since 2016. She is an active Toastmasters of Intel Toastmasters Club. She is a passionate Toastmaster and an accomplished speaker. She is an associate design engineer at Intel by profession. She is none other than Toastmaster Sweety Pinjani. She is going to enlighten us. Okay. She's going to enlighten us on the power of Toastmasters, sharing the benefits of Toastmasters both professionally and personally. Over to you, Toastmaster Sweety Pinjani.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhi. Good morning, everyone.
Great morning. Very good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for the response. Before we delve into the power of Toastmasters, let me narrate a small incident from my life. One fine day, my parents decided that it's time for Sweety to get married. And that's when the groom hunt began. A formal groom ceremony was fixed for me by my parents in the heart of Pune city. The gate of the house was old and creaked loudly as it opened. The walls of the house were peeling off in pieces. An obese guy with thick glasses was standing at the gate. He leaned down to touch the feet of my parents. Stay healthy and blessed. My parents blessed him. He guided us to the hallway where we got seated. My parents asked him, "What is your name?" He said, "Hello, I am Sanskar, and welcome. This is our ancestral home." My parents started questioning Sanskar. "Sanskar, what sort of bride are you looking for?" "Shine down like a newly married bride," he said. "A simple, sober girl who can wake me up with the sweet voice of her bhajan." I could imagine myself as a housewife from Satyuk Kala, cooking healthy homemade food for my husband God. In a choked voice, I whispered to my mother, "Not him, please." Now, just to ensure how many of you were attentive, I'll ask few questions from this incident. Whoever wants to answer can just raise their hand. Where was this groom scene ceremony fixed? In which city? Bhupati sir?
There are people who have raised their hand. The ancestral home was a place, I thought. Place, I don't remember. Sorry.
Okay. Pavitra?
Pune.
Yeah, it was Pune. What was the name of guy?
Sanskar.
Sanskar.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of bride was Sanskar looking for? Soumya Shri? you want to answer?
Sure, I'll go ahead. Simple, sober, homely girl. I hope I'm the same alignment.
Yeah, sure. And how did Sanskar want to start his day?
Wife
Same
waking up with a
Very
sweet
sweet voice.
Richa, you want to answer?
I am sorry, I missed the question. There are so many questions. One more.
Okay. How did Sanskar wanted to start his day?
He wanted to start his day by his wife. No, sorry, I don't know.
Okay. By the
With
sweet,
devotional songs. It starts with
sweet voice of bhajan. And what did I whisper to my mom?
Not him. Please,
great.
not him.
Great. So right now we had demonstrated 2 skills which Toastmasters helps you. I have demonstrated a small demo of a prepared speech. It was not a complete prepared speech, but a small gist of how we deliver prepared speeches. And you have right now demonstrated the art of listening. These are 2 of the very key things which we learn in Toastmasters. Since a lot of you might not know about Toastmasters, let me just give a small background about Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is a international organization. We are a part of Toastmasters International. And whenever a new member joins Toastmasters, they are usually assigned a mentor. When I joined Toastmasters in 2016, I got a mentor. What is the role of your mentor? Your mentor will help resolve your queries about Toastmasters. They will review your speeches and help you keep a track of your progress. Like my mentor used to ensure that I give at least 1 speech every month. That was my mentor's goal. That's the first mentor I got. And gradually, by giving a lot of speeches, I have improved. Now, different people have different interests. Like someone of you right now said they are interested in improving their leadership skills. Some of them are interested in communication skills. Now, even in communication skills, some of them are interested in becoming a humorous speaker. Some of them are interested in becoming a motivational speaker. To cater to all these different needs, Toastmaster provides you 11 different choices. We call it as pathway. For example, if you are interested in humor, you can choose engaging humor pathway. If you are more interested in leadership skills, you can choose leadership development pathway. Once you choose a pathway, you can start preparing and delivering your projects. Each pathway will have 5 levels, and every level will have around 3 projects. So in order to complete one pathway, you have to complete all 15 projects. Once you complete all 15 projects, then you will be certified that you have completed this pathway, and these certificates are internationally recognized. You can leverage it in your resume. I do it very frequently. And you need to understand that in pathway, the speeches are organized in the level of difficulty. The first speech in every pathway is icebreaker, which is an introduction about yourself. And it is same for all pathways. The first speech is same. Later on, as you move on, the complexity keeps on increasing, but you have a mentor and you can take guidance from people who have already completed their path if you are stuck anywhere. So we have a lot of people to help you progress in your journey. And another thing is you gradually improve, as I said. In case you feel that your speech was up to mark, you can still repeat your speeches. I have repeated a lot of my speeches because I felt they are not up to the mark. So to improve myself, until I am not satisfied that I have completed the speech in a proper way, I try to repeat it again and again. That is the way I want to take it, because I want to become good at what I am learning. I just don't want to get certified for the sake of it. Now, we have seen how Toastmasters helps you in improving your communication skills, how it helps you in improving your listening skills. Now, it also helps you in improving your leadership skills. How? First, it starts at the club level. Like mic testing club is run by a set of people, we call them XCOM. To give you a small example, there is a president who will lead the entire club. The Toastmaster Abhi is the president. Then there is a VP of Education, Vice President of Education. I guess Shama is the VP of Education in mic testing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Shama is the VP Ed, right? So her job is to conduct such educational sessions, plan such open houses, and ensure that the meeting roles are getting filled. Like this, we have a lot of roles, and it is not limited to the club level because it's a Toastmaster International. How does it work? We have a club mic testing. Now there are other clubs in Toastmasters, like Intel has its club, Infosys has a club, TCS has a club. 4-5 clubs come together and they form an area. 4-5 areas will come together. They will form a division. Few divisions come together and form a district. Few districts come together, form a region. And all of regions together form Toastmasters International. To reiterate, we have club, area, division, district, region, and then international. As of today, we have Toastmasters in 148 countries, and there are more than 2.7 lakh Toastmasters members worldwide, with around 14.2 thousand clubs. As Abhi said, Toastmasters was founded in October 22, 1924. That is why we are going to celebrate the 100th birthday of Toastmasters this year. Since 100 years, this platform has been helping people like me also to step out of the comfort zone and challenge themselves to shine out as great leaders and great communicators. I have embraced this journey since 2016 and I see a continuous improvement. Do you want to embrace this journey? Raise your hands if you also feel that you want to embrace. Great. Great. I see a lot of people who want to embrace. Now, let me also tell some incidents how Toastmasters has helped me in professional and personal life. Because these are two very important aspects of life which we want to improve on, and how Toastmasters plays a role. One of the most difficult conversations that anyone can have at workplace, according to me, is appraisal discussion. Raise your hands if you also feel the same. Earlier, before Toastmasters, I was in a position where I used to work a lot, even more than my colleagues. I used to work beyond my current responsibilities because I wanted to improve. So I used to take extra work. I used to help my colleagues. But still, when it comes to appraisal, I was not able to display my work properly, due to which I was always given a mediocre appraisal, even though I was outperforming. Now, how Toastmasters helped me is, first thing is, when I joined Toastmasters, I got a mentor. When I got a mentor, I started giving my speeches. What my mentor did is, he told me to write the speeches. Don't just deliver, write it. Then he got it reviewed. He gave me feedback and he made me rewrite it. He used to rehearse it with me. Then he used to feel that some delivery aspects are not good. He used to tell me to like practice again and rehearse. He used to make me rewrite the speeches, and this cycle used to continue till my mentor was satisfied. It was frustrating, frankly speaking, because I was made to rewrite speeches so many times. But this cycle has helped me to understand what is the effective way of bringing out your points and what is the right way to deliver it, and how you can document it properly. How this helped me is, I started documenting my key achievements. For example, I worked on a certain project and I used to write the 3 key achievements. No essays, just 3 key points which I have achieved in very crisp language, which is easily understandable. And then I understood the importance of effective communication. So I ensured that I talked to my manager. I used to tell him to just give me 15 minutes every 2 months, every 2 months, just 15 minutes, I used to talk about what are my achievements. I used to take his feedback and I used to try to improve on it. If he has some feedback for me, I used to try to improve on it. And I used to show what are the things which I did, so that I don't wait up till appraisal discussion. This is another thing which I learned. A lot of people wait up till the appraisal discussion. By the time it is time for appraisals, I think your manager has already decided your rating. There is nothing much you can do to change it. So this process needs to start at least 6 to 7 months before the actual process of appraisal starts, so that before the appraisal comes, you should have at least 3 rounds of discussions with your manager already, where you have highlighted the key achievements and you were able to portray why you deserve a better appraisal. This is how it has helped me. Now, when I am now moving to leadership role, how Toastmasters came handy. Now, in Toastmasters, I have myself taken a lot of leadership role like president, VP, ed. We used to face situation in which I used to find a particular role player or a speaker, but the day before the speech, the speaker was like falling sick. So I can't force them to come to the meeting. So I understood the importance of having a backup. I started keeping some backup speakers in my mind, like people who are very well versed with Toastmasters and who deliver such keynote speeches. I used to keep them as a backup, so that if anyone backs out, I can get in touch with them, and they already have few keynotes ready which they have delivered in another club, so they can come and deliver it in my club. How this has helped me plan in my leadership role is, in your leadership role, there will be some situations that are not under your control. For example, you are working on a project which is very critical. It has very critical deadline, and a key resource has resigned. How will you handle this situation? Here are some things which I learned. First thing is, you need to inform the stakeholder as soon as the resource resigns, and you need to have a meeting with them and explain them what will be the impact of this. Now, you need to convince them either to find a replacement. If not, they need to extend the deadline a little. They may agree or they may not agree. Meanwhile, you need to start having plan B. What will be plan B? With whatever internal resources you have, you need to start training them, start ramping them up. Meanwhile, your resource is still there. He will have some, say, 2 months before he leaves the company. So you can tell him to take KT sessions for people who you have identified, and you can start ramping them up side by side, so that you have plan B ready. You already informed your management so that they can either open a rack to hire a new person or they can extend the deadline. So in this way, at least you are playing safe from your side, and if the deadline thing comes, it will be not on you, because you have already informed well in advance. You have also ensured that you are ramping up the resources. So this is how you can try to tackle the difficult situations, which I learned from Toastmasters. And this has helped me a lot improve in my professional life, because now I am able to highlight my achievements, and I am able to convince my leaders why I should get a better promotion. Not only in professional life, it has also helped me a lot in personal life. I was a person who was very stubborn, who had very strong beliefs, and it is very difficult to break my beliefs. I was not at all open to feedback. I had no interest in listening. I just wanted to give my perspective, and I had no interest in others' perspective. And I would say that before Toastmasters, I also lacked empathy. How Toastmasters has helped me. When I advanced in my Toastmasters journey, I got few mentees. And when I started mentoring people, I learned that every person is different. You can't mentor every mentee in the same way. The requirements of every mentee are different. Some mentees might need a little more hand-holding. Some of them are ready to work on their own. They just need the key points. Now see, hand-holding we can do little bit at the starting, but you can't make them completely dependent on you. This is something which I learned, that gradually you need to train your mentees to be self-dependent. and you need to just give them key pointers on how to improve and let them take it further. But the way you deal with different mentees is going to be different. This thing, mentoring different kind of mentees, has taught me the art of empathy. And due to this empathy and improving my listening skills, like we demonstrated how we can improve listening skills, this has helped me being open to others' perspective. Now I try to listen what others are saying, try to understand their perspective, and instead of fighting, I try to give my perspective. Even if I don't agree with their perspective, I try to give a constructive feedback. In Toastmasters, we believe in constructive feedback. It means if someone came on stage, they delivered the worst speech, we won't say that you are not capable of becoming a great speaker. No, we will say, as a first time speaker, I applaud that you were on stage, because coming on stage itself is one of the very confident things a person can do. And there are just some points like your R count, or try to practice what you are delivering. That will help you improve confidence. So this is what we call constructive feedback. Even if a worse speaker comes on stage, we try to motivate them to come back on stage. We don't demotivate them. So these are some things which has helped me a lot in my personal life, so that I don't end up in fights. I try to listen to others' perspective and be a good listener. This has helped me improve as a person overall. And now I tend to have more mature conversations and reduce the number of fights I end up having. I won't say that I don't have fights. I do have some fights, still some fights with my friends and families, which are important. But I don't have the fights which will like end up relationships, or which will have by which people will have a very bad perspective of you. I try to have constructive fights. And as a Toastmaster, we all believe that learning is never ending. There is a lot you can learn. Even if you are a best speaker, there is still a lot you can improve. And I still believe I have a lot of things to improve in myself, be it communication, be it leadership. And I am going to improve with a continuous practice. I have taken Toastmasters as a lifetime commitment, because I want to continuously improve and I want to help others improve. This is a lifetime commitment for me. What about you? Do you feel Toastmasters will help you? Just raise your hand. Great. I am done with my keynote. We can go for Q&A.
Thank you, Sweety, for that wonderful keynote, and letting the people who are new to Toastmasters understand what Toastmasters is, what pathways we have, how many pathways we have, how we can leverage the resources and the pathways to improve ourselves. And of course, be a person who is better professionally and personally. And I would still underscore, have constructive fights. That's the key message for me, because the constructive fight, in my view, is nothing but having very meaningful but hard conversations wherein you don't you don't agree with someone, but you understand how to respectfully disagree. And I think Toastmasters, when you have mentors, you have mentees and deliver speeches and get feedback, you become more patient and you kind of learn to understand the importance of agreeing to disagree, but respectfully. Thank you for that wonderful keynote. And as you said, the floor is open for Q&A. We have 5 minutes of time. Over to the audience. If they have any questions, Sweety is available to answer. At the same time, Shama is floating a form for the feedback on Sweety's speech. Please take time out to fill in the form. Over to you, over to the audience for any questions.
I have one question. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay. Sweety, being Toastmaster, right? Sometimes we get like lot of work in our day-to-day, right? And we miss giving speeches, and we will completely go off track of our giving Like per month, we'll give one speech, and that will not happen. What are your suggestions? Like, how do we make sure that we deliver one speech? How do we make ourselves that come into that path and all? How to be consistent, basically?
Sure. Uh, so first thing is, maybe you are a part of corporate club and it is difficult to attend the club due to your work commitments at times. So what I did is, like mic testing is one club which has meetings on Saturday. So when I was not able to give speeches in my club due to work commitments, I started giving speeches in the clubs on weekends, like Saturday and Sunday. There are a lot of such community clubs in Bangalore, and sometimes we don't have time to write speeches. So as I said, I like to deliver my previous speeches again because I feel that I can improve the same speech again. So if I can't write the speech, I try to deliver the previous speeches in a different club so that I get different feedback. These are like two things which help me: finding a club which matches my timing and trying to give the speeches which I have already given some time back, like rewriting it and then giving, and then taking this feedback which you get now and again try to rewrite it. Did that answer your question, Soumya?
Yeah, yes, Sweety. Thank you. Thanks for the great suggestion.
Thank you. Any other questions anyone has? We have ample time to take few more questions.
I have one question.
Yeah, Ganesh.
Sweety, did you get any time very bad feedback, and what did you do with that?
Okay, this is a very good question. See, in Toastmasters, we do believe in constructive feedback, but I felt there are some Toastmasters who are very critical evaluators. I consider myself also as a very critical evaluator. See, what I feel is, it is a good thing that I get critical feedback. That is my perspective, because my thing is, if you sugarcoat a lot, I am not clear on what things clearly I need to improve. So I don't take it in a bad way. I take it in a good way, and I try to talk to the person later after the meeting, talk to that person one on one. And like if I have specific questions, I actually ask them, was it so bad or are you just a critical evaluator? I did ask such questions, and I came to know that they are critical evaluator, which I was okay with. And then I asked them, as they were very experienced, I asked them suggestions like, I got a feedback, I am not good at vocal variety. Vocal variety, you understand, right? Pitch, pause, and voice modulation and all that. So I told them, yes, I agree, I am not like good at voice modulation. So what are the things that you suggest? So he actually recommended me some apps, and he recommended me to practice like music, 𝑠𝑎𝑟𝑒𝑔𝑎𝑚𝑎 also. Yeah,
Okay.
so I get such suggestions, and I feel that take it positively. And if you want more clarification, just talk to them one on one. And I think it will be good for us. Don't take it in a bad way.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
I have a one question.
Yeah, Sonu.
Sweety ma'am, when you had joined the Toastmaster at initial stage of your career, what kind of issue you have faced apart from you just mentioned about voice modulation?
Yeah, sure. See, when I joined Toastmasters, it was in 2016. That time, I would consider myself as an introvert. I didn't like to talk to people a lot. And frankly speaking, my first speech was very bad. It went something like that. Like, I shy down a lot, I looked down a lot, I had lot of accounts, my hands were shivering. And just to tell that, hi, I am Sweety, it took me almost 1 minute because I had so much stage fear. So my first time stage experience was very bad, frankly speaking. But what helped me is, even after such a bad speech, that time I think there were around 25 people in that Toastmasters meeting, and it was a face-to-face meeting. Like back then in 2016, we didn't have online meetings. We had only offline meetings. This started after COVID. Um, so all that 25 people like applauded. Even for that speech, like I got a good applaud. Now that time I was thinking, am I a bad speaker or are they a bad evaluator? I frankly had this thought. then I talked to a senior member who told me to attend this Toastmasters meeting, who later became my mentor. And he informed me that Toastmasters is such a platform where you will get a very constructive feedback. And if you are a very worst speaker, no one will like tell you that you are bad speaker, don't give speeches again. Then I felt that it is the right platform to improve. And the struggles which I faced was, first thing is, what speeches should I give? Like what speech topic should I select? And another thing is how to write the speeches. These were two of the very difficult things for me, for which my mentor gave me very good suggestions. One of the best suggestions I got for speeches is you can derive your speeches from your personal incidents. Like if you see, most of my speeches are derived from my personal incidents. If someone helped you in your career, that can become a speech. If you help someone in your career, that can become a speech. Any difficult situation which you faced in life, like you are trying a lot to get interviews but you are not getting, but what you learned from that, that can also become a speech. So anything can become a speech was first suggestion. And second suggestion, like my mentor helped me to write the speeches. Like he helped me, how he made me understood how to structure the speeches. So this is how, with the help of mentor, I eliminated two of the difficult things: what speech topic to select and how to write the speeches.
That's great. Thank you for your perspective.
I think our time for Q&A is over.
Yeah, that's fine. But
Yeah.
thank you for all the participation from the guests. It was wonderful to hear your questions and get these insights, because it's very good, very important to listen from a seasoned Toastmasters about how you should be leveraging the power of Toastmasters. Thank you, Sweety, for that wonderful keynote, and I'm looking forward for your participation and help in more meetings of Mic Testing Advanced Toastmasters Club. Okay, now moving to the second keynote speaker for today. I would introduce her as someone, if you all of you know, Lord Hanuman was a savior in Ramayana and Lord Krishna was a savior in Mahabharata. So this Toastmaster was a savior for our club in getting a venue when we were fighting for venues. And the last open house that we did very much a couple of months back, she was a savior who gave us a venue in her very own corporate organization, and we were able to conduct our open house. And she always takes that active interest in helping our club in contests, and as well as helping District 92 as an area level contest, division level contest. And I have been a contestant while she was a contest master in a few of the contests. So I'm very privileged to introduce the next Toastmaster for today, Toastmaster Shweta Jalan. She is an active member of Pegasystems. She's an engineering manager and technology leader. She's a passionate storyteller and communication mentor. She's also a guest faculty at BITS Pilani and a contributor for NGO WEN India. Toastmaster Shweta will delve into the topic of elevating your pitch, and she's going to offer her insights into techniques to enhance your storytelling skills. Over to you, Toastmaster Shweta.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abhi. Good afternoon, everyone. Can I get a thumbs up if I'm audible?
Good
to
afternoon.
you guys?
Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. I would just love to see you on your video because it gives me an energy if I see the faces of people. So if you're in a comfortable place, switch on your video and let's get into elevating your pitch. Thank you so much to switch on your video. Again, I would request everybody who is there in a comfortable position to come on the video. It gives me an energy to just talk. So today I'll be talking about, and thank you so much, Abhi, for such nice words about me. And it is I think Toastmasters has made me what it is, and it is just my way of giving back to Toastmasters anywhere I can help. Today I will be talking about elevating your pitch and how great than storytelling. When Sweety was talking about her own personal stories, I was just thinking she's just telling what I would be talking about, the storytelling. But before that, how much do you think a banana and a duct tape would cost? Any rough guess? A duct tape and a banana.
Banana 3 rupees, duct tape depends on the size.
Size. So it's 20 rupees. Next 20 rupees. Now, if I give you an art with a banana and a duct tape like this, how much do you think this art costs? This is an art.
Lakhs.
Lakhs? Did you hear about it anytime, Shama?
I think 50
Yeah.
rupees.
So if you Google
Think.
a banana, duct tape, art, and a price, I will give you, after my speech, you should go and Google banana, duct tape, art, price. And this is whooping $1,20,000 that an Italian artist did. He sold this art. I mean, I am still wondering who would pay $1,20,000 for an art like this. But he was a very famous Italian artist, and he named it as the Comedian. And he talked about it, that it took 1 month for him to create this art, and there was a story behind it. And somebody from the audience took it at whooping $1,20,000. Well, I'm still getting it off my head. Like, what did he do with that banana after 5 days? I'm sure it is a perishable thing. But what point I'm here to make? Storytelling is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world. And I would start with what Robert McAfee said, is it is the most powerful way to put ideas into the world. I would not start with this audience because I know they would always want, what is an ROI for me to learn how to do a storytelling? Return of investment. I would like to invest myself in Toastmasters in the way I would definitely give a speech. But what is an ROI? You just saw an ROI of a small duct and a banana sold at such a huge price. After this speech, do go to a website called significantobjects.com. Now, in that website, you will see there are very normal looking things, very normal, which you can just get in 100 and 200 rupees. And people are paying thousands of rupees for them because everything in that particular website which is sold is told by a story. There is a story behind what they put it on the website, and people are buying it with that whooping price. The ROI of the storytelling is 28.06 times. And that is not my number. It was done in a livemint.com. If you go and check, when you say anything in stories, that's the return of investment that you get. Storytelling is an ancient art, isn't it? How many of you have heard stories from different people? Can you just tell me? Who were the first people who talked to you in stories?
Shweta, Joshna this side. Am I audible?
Yes.
I remember the first storyteller is my mom. Whenever I go to sleep, she will tell all the old stories, and that's make me to sleep well.
Absolutely. Mothers, grandmothers. And there are storytellers all around. Because we as human beings, or you as an audience, enjoy storytelling. They remember and engage with the compelling stories that come. Our world today is essentially a grand storytelling competition. We all are striving today to tell our stories in the most persuasive manner. I remember reading somewhere that if you wanted, in the ancient times, if you wanted to poison people, you would poison wells. But today, in this age and world, if you want to poison people, poison their stories. Because stories sway people, they change the politics, they change the world. I'll give you one more example. In 1945, there was 2 cities which were bombed by America. Which were the 2 cities?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Did you guys know that Nagasaki was not in their list? Anybody
Yes.
knew?
Yes.
Yes. Which was in their list? It was Kyoto. Now, why did not they bomb Kyoto? Kyoto was there. Yeah.
One of the bomb maker went visited the city, and it was so beautiful, and he don't want to ruin the city by bombing it.
Absolutely. I'm so happy I have an audience who knows stories behind what I am trying to say. There was an American soldier, or I should say a general soldier, because he was the person who was making the decisions, and he went for honeymoon in Kyoto. And I can say that the story of Kyoto saved Kyoto from being bombed. And he removed Kyoto and put Nagasaki there. The good stories surprise us. They make us think and feel, and they help us remember ideas. Now, all of you are a corporate person. When you go with a PPT crammed with charts and bar graphs, I'm sure when you get out of that meeting, not many people would remember what you would want to say. But as soon as you have like simple things on your PowerPoint, and when you talk about it as stories, I'm sure you are going to leave your audience with a message that you would want to convey. Now, lot of ROI, why we should learn storytelling. But how would you harvest a story? Today also in Toastmasters, when we came, we said we have to give 15 speeches in one pathway. How would you harvest that story? How would you make that story? Sweety was telling that we used to write, or she used to write stories, and that got it by mentored and rewritten. But how do you harvest a story? She did mention one thing, isn't it? She's mentioned create a story with a personal touch. When she started, she talked about her own story when she went in, Pune. And today we remember that when she did a question answer, I saw that a lot of you remembered. And what did she wanted to put a point was personal story that she put in front of you was a story from a particular speech that she had. And she was just trying to make a point that I have a story and you are great listeners. So how would you harvest a story? If there is something that you would have to talk about people who inspire you, you don't have to go to any books or website. If you have to find that story, it is from your life incidents. Because those stories are your own stories. It cannot be copied. They have that emotions attached with your stories. And the way you can get that out to the audience and feel inspired and make them inspired is all about harvesting a story. And you can find stories in various parts of your life. How do stand-up comedians make a simple looking thing into stories and make us all laugh, isn't it? When we hear the stand-up comedians, we think, this happened in my life also. But we still have to learn that art of putting that our personal stories into humor. And that's where we join Toastmasters. But those are personal stories that you have. Now, you have a story. The next is, how would you put that into a 5 minutes or 7 minutes thing that your audience would enjoy? The first thing is plot, the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. When I started with something as a wow. Simple looking banana and a duct tape in my hand. That 20 seconds, I tried to take my audience saying, wow, that's how a storytelling can improve your ROI. So that is the introduction that you have to find. That first 20, 30 seconds that people get hooked in what you want to say. Here in Toastmasters or anywhere in your personal life, personal or professional things. As soon as you start a presentation, you have to make sure that your first 30 seconds are impactful. And because everybody in the audience is like, what is in there for me and why should I hear you? That is what a person would sit as an audience. And if your 20, 30 seconds as an introduction is impactful, your body and your conclusion can help that impact go to the audience. And that's where we say the plot. How many of you remember great stories in film? I mean, our films are a great storytelling place. Do you remember a film with a good storyline? Do you guys remember any stories that you remember from film? Which film that comes in your mind as soon as I say, wow, what a great story? Do tell me in Hindi because I am a great story. I do a lot of Hindi movies. Yes, Soumya.
Yeah, when you just asked the question, the first thing that came to my mind was Pursuit of Happiness, the struggle he went through.
Pursuit of the struggle he went through by, with his child, the pursuit of
Correct.
happiness. And the way it is told about a father just being a single father, isn't it? So that is amazing. Anybody else who wants to tell what story comes in your mind when you think about a movie?
To me, it is Shawshank Redemption.
The Shawshank Redemption. Oh, beautiful movie. You can get busy living or you can get busy dying. That's the line, the punchline that you have in Shawshank Redemption. And the way it is portrayed, the ups and downs in the life and the way the two friends get out of the prison, it's a awesome way to tell a story. Thank you so much. And that's where we say that a good story has a great plot, an introduction, and a conclusion. I also call it as context, action, result. And that's how I remember CAR. I'm a car driver. And context, action, and result. Can I get 4 volunteers here? Can I get 4 volunteers here? And I would just like to play one simple game. I have a hand of Sweety. I need 4 guys. Come on. I have a hand of Soumya, Sweety, Ganesh, and Harsha. Ganesh, I'm not sure whether you raised your hand, but I saw your hand raised. So let me take it from you. Okay, Sweety, and Harsha, and Ganesh, and Soumya. I'll give you 4 words, and you have to start a story. Say, for example, Sweety, you have to start a story. I will give you a word, once upon a time. And Harsha, and then you have to continue the story. And Ganesh, you have to say, but suddenly. And at the end, Soumya, you say, and finally. Okay. Once upon a time. Start, Sweety.
Once upon a time, I was sitting in my office in Mumbai. It was a software job. I decided that this is not something that I like.
Okay. It was a software job and you did not like what you did. And then, Ganesh.
Hello.
Yeah, you can go ahead. She was in a software job and she did not like, and then? And then. Mm-hmm.
I got a manager who was a different person, and he introduced me to the benefits of doing particular development for a project.
So you get a manager who helps you to develop a particular thing. But suddenly, Harsha.
But suddenly, I also giving the interview in that company, and I noticed Sweety Pinjani.
But you suddenly noticed Sweety Pinjani in that company. And finally, Soumya.
And finally, I heard about Toastmasters from Sweety Pinjani. She told about the benefits of Toastmaster and I joined. Now I'm excelling in both my professional as well as personal life. Cheers.
Awesome. 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 Can you give those four volunteers a big round of applause? And what I was trying to get you is the context. The once upon a time, she was into Mumbai, then she had a manager, but suddenly and finally. So nobody wants to just hear life is good, life is very nice. There is a twist and a turn, and we just saw that twist and turn between us right now, and that became a story. That's how you do that. The next is having a wow factor in your story, a punchline. Any punchline that you guys remember in any film, that is that particular punchline of the film. Sholay, kitne aadmi the? As soon as you say kitne aadmi the, we say it's Sholay. How many of you have any punchlines for any movie? I did talk about 𝐒𝐻𝑢𝑔 Redemption. Any line that you guys remember from any movie?
All is well.
All is well, Three Idiots. Yes. Anybody else? With great power comes great responsibility. Okay, it was from which
दुनिया में छोटी-छोटी बातें होती रहती है.
Senorita. बड़े-बड़े दुनिया में छोटी-छोटी बातें होती रहती है. So these are some, these are some wow factors in your speech. Anybody else who wants
Life
to
is
tell
a
one line?
celebration.
Life is a celebration. So this should be the objective of when you put in your story. There has to be some wow factor that you leave the audience with so that they remember your speech. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Then the next is the insightful conclusion. Why do you think the conclusion is so important for your story? Because an audience has come to hear what you want to tell as a story and take away something from that story. And that's where your insightful conclusion of this story becomes very, very important. The conclusion of any movie that I remember is, and I felt bad, is Titanic. I saw the whole movie, very nice way of storytelling. And at the end, Jack died. But now when I think what could have happened, if they could have just come on and say, we are living happily with all that, we wouldn't have believed in that story maybe. And that is why that conclusion was important. So having an insightful conclusion of your story is very, very important. In some other time, I will definitely cover how can you give life to your speech, because that's also very important for you to know. But today, with this time that I had, I would like to conclude that from Robin Moore, that he said, inside each one of us is a natural born storyteller waiting to be released. And what better than the Toastmasters forum, where you can come, you can talk about your stories and improve on your storytelling skills and see that change in you. Thank you so much for hearing me.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shweta. Can we have a huge round of applause? Huge round of applause for the wonderful keynote. I'm sure all of you got some snippet, if not the full snippet, of how you can make your story very rich, lively, and insightful for any audience. And the underlying or the key message from me is, if you want to poison people in this world, poison through your story. What a hard-hitting line. I mean, this is deeply entrenched in me today with that specific line. And stories move mountains, right? I think that's very important for all of us to realize at the earliest. Some people are in software jobs doing coding and all of that, but when you try for a new job, you'd always see that how one of the job description would be how do you translate your job into a way where you can interact with people even though you're in a technical job, and that's where the power of storytelling comes in. And thank you for that insight, Toastmaster Shweta. Now, two things. One is Shama is floating a form for a feedback on Shweta's speech, keynote, and we have 10 minutes of time for any Q&A. So the floor is open. Audience, guests, members can ask questions to Shweta, and she would be, of course, willing to give her insights. Come on, questions. Questions also move mountains like stories.
Yeah, I have one question to Shweta. The question is about a flow chart. I'm explaining it to my client. This is about the steps, okay, which business need to execute in a particular platform. Now, how can I create a story about that? Because it is generally a not interesting topic for the business. Is there any way I can even
Great question, Ganesh. Your flow chart is nothing but a story in itself, because that is why it is a flow chart. Now, what do we do in our professional lives? And that's how I have learned from a lot of mistakes that I have made, is put the whole flow chart in front of the people first. And that's the mistake that we make. And that's where we cannot tell the story, what we want to tell. Do not do that. Because if somebody is putting a PPT with the flow chart, the audience has already looked at it. And why would he listen to, or he or she listen to you as a story?
Yeah.
Now, how do you make it interesting? First, start with what do you want to take away from that flow chart from the audience? Like, take that 30 seconds to introduce. Now, once they are convinced about that takeaway, then don't give the whole flow chart to the in the PPT as is. And that's how I have learned. Just start with the first and then start connecting. If you know how to create an animation of it, and then start talking about it. Because if you give the whole flow chart, and as you have already said, that's no way that the audience will be hooked. I think that you should try that and have a minimal thing in your PPT so that everybody is not reading everything and then they don't have to hear you. Just have your flow and talk about it. Yes, Richa.
Yeah, Shweta, just to add to your point and to elaborate to the question, see, there is an anatomy of story. Also, you need to know your audience. The other day, I was speaking in AWS, Amazon Toastmasters Club, and I was giving a talk on psychological benefits, or how to influence others and motivation theories, right? At that point of time, I was reminded that okay, all of the audience members that were sitting are very much aware about who Hanuman is, right? And I was able to showcase this to them, that to correlate my subject matter with the kind of prevalent stories in the area, which would now be like the story that I was referring to was that how Hanuman needed to be reminded of his powers. Similarly, if you're motivating someone, you need to be reminding them of their powers. That is one of the techniques to motivate someone. So when I was talking about it, it hit hard with them because for the very reason that everybody knew the story and was aware of the context. So if somebody is talking about, so here is a anatomy of a story, and there is a book on Amazon about this as well. There are multiple ways of creating a story. You create a story, you add a conflict, and then you resolve the conflict and add a twist, right? That is one way of telling a story. Or you give a preamble, you give a context, and you hit your audience with the hook or that actual twist in the story where you're referring to, right? So with the flowchart, and I use this technique a lot in my sessions when I'm talking. So I'm a product manager by profession, now a project manager and program manager. So it so happens when I'm giving a context to my audience, I kind of use a lot of stories that my audience are already aware of, and then go in with that context and then give my points in comparison to the context. That way, it helps the, to bring.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was an insightful thing, and I hope Ganesh, as you are, you understand now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
More questions? Okay, Joshna has a question.
Yeah. Shweta, in your speech, I could see a lot of anecdote, right? That the bomb blasting thing, and then banana and duct tape and everything. See, I sometimes I feel I have a personal story to tell, but I don't have anything to cover like hashtag or personal anecdotes. How can we add those things to make it more catchy and also attractive audience?
Yeah, so when we say create a story with your personal touch, it is sometimes not only your personal story. I and my husband both are Toastmasters. And whenever he's been asked about why you joined Toastmasters, he will always say, because I saw my wife enjoying a lot. So we both have stories that we write it down and we share with each other, and then we say, okay, you can use it when you wanted to use, when I can use it and why I want to use. And this is not only when you are saying your personal anecdote, it cannot sometimes only be your personal anecdote. It can be something that you would have experienced, or somebody would have asked you to, or told the story and you would have experienced. That also can be your anecdote. The also very important part of your storytelling is how you tell a story. And that's what you will learn in Toastmasters. Your gestures, how you'd say, how you can put a low and a high of your voice modulation, what Sweety was also telling about. So that can also give a great impact on a very simple thing that you would want to tell an audience. So there is a lot of things when I definitely would want to cover that kind of, how would you put a life to your voice, to your gestures, to how you can give a story, give a story. But there are things that you would learn in Toastmasters about the way to give a story, tell a story. Did it answer, Joshna?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We have time for a final question. If there is any further questions from anyone.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Shama.
There are few things that are common between storytelling and dramatics. How to differentiate that? How important is it to dramatize the story, or how important is it to be dramatic and tell a story? Like, how to differentiate that?
So if you would have asked this question some 15, 20, 30 years back, dramatics and all those stuff might not come into play. Today, the audience has a very small attention span. And that's why reels have come into existence. The attention span of your audience is so small that you have to dramatize a little to tell your story. The story that Sweety started, like how she had to go and she has to choose a person. Did you notice she put you there in that space? You could see a sanskar boy with a thing, and putting your hand on the feet. And it was very simple. If you just if anybody would have said, yeah, I went to Pune, and there was one guy called Sanskar, and I said I did not want to marry, right? These are the three lines you could put. But the way she said, in dramatic way, and I'm not sure whether that boy was also named Sanskar. I will have to go and talk to Sweety at the end. She has put that name so that you visualize a person as a very sanskari person. So a storytelling definitely has to be a little dramatic, where you put your audience into that place, what you are trying to tell. So definitely there has to be some portion of drama in your storytelling. Thank you. Sweety, I
Thank
took
you.
a lot of examples from your story. Thank you so much for being first speaker.
So I think we all have heard about Saskari Bahu, but this is about Saskari Damad, right? So this is a new twist to how we are going to interpret Saskar as we speak to people going forward. But thank you very much for all the insights and taking time to answer questions, Shweta. This brings us to the closure of the two keynote speeches that we had planned for today's meeting. And of course, I would request the guests to fill in the guest feedback form, or the speech feedback form that Shama has already floated, for both, to give a feedback about both Shweta and Sweety's keynote, so that they would take the feedback constructively and improve in that Toastmasters journey. Because as I say, improvement, when you make improvement, that's where you actually tapping the key resource of Toastmasters, and that's where everyone loves to improve in Toastmasters. Thank you. And now we are open in terms of the guest feedback. So anyone, guest Sonu, Ganesh, Harsha, Anirudh, maybe we didn't hear from you. Maybe you joined a bit late, but we would maybe start from you and understand how did you like the meeting from the time you joined in, and any feedback you have for us.
It's my first Toastmaster. I have attended the first class, so I think it's very useful for me. I got to know what are the elements of a storytelling and how to present something in your office if you are working in a corporate life. So if your manager has said something to you to present your work, so how to put your work in front of managers. So that's thing I got to know through this Toastmasters session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sonu. Sonu, you can probably speak to Shama offline after the meeting, probably, or we'll share a Google form in terms of getting your details, so that we kind of have you added to our guest group if you're not added, and then we'll try to take that forward. Moving on, Harsha.
Hello, everyone. And really,
Yes.
I like to thank everyone for giving me the opportunity to join this, and I learned many things. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Harsha. Ganesh, you were actively participating in a lot of in-between speech, discussions, interactions.
Yeah. In fact, both the speakers were really good. In fact, I'm not sure whether I should give a feedback here, but I actually the takeaways from today's session is basically insight into Toastmasters way of working. Basically, it is there in 148 countries, and there are 11 ways you can actually develop your speaking skills, like leadership skills, and there are so many other areas as well, right? And also mentor and mentee concept, and also about the storytelling. Storytelling, I was actually aware of it, but the way Shweta has put it today, really actually, I got a lot of insight there as well, and also from Richa. So how to handle some of the situations where we face in the real time, okay, in our office. Thank you, thank you for all of this. I would like to participate more on these kind of sessions. That's the feedback.
Thank you, Ganesh. Great to have your participation in today's speeches. Soumyashri, you are an active Toastmaster, but how did you like today's meeting, and any improvement points for us?
Today's session was really good. I liked both the speeches and both the suggestions and whatever the pearls of wisdom they shared, right? Throughout the session, I was busy making notes on the pointers, whatever they gave. So it was definitely a gentle push for me it was like, hey, Soumya, just go and deliver your next speech. that was the kind of motivation I got. And with all the pointers, whatever I have noted, I'm going to apply in my next speech and looking forward for that. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you, Someshri. I think we have covered all the guests. Sweety and Shweta, how did you like? How was your experience joining today's meeting and delivering keynotes? We can start with Shweta.
This club is near to my heart. Deepak and Sweety have been amazing friend for me, and coming to this club and talking is like a homecoming club. As you know, Abhi, we did this. I was a contest master for this club, and I feel so welcomed in this club that I've forgotten that I'm not a part of this anymore. But I would definitely try my level best to come to this club more often and be part of you, because the members that here are really warm, very welcoming. Thank you so much for this opportunity for me.
Thank you, Shweta. And Sweety?
Yeah. So for people who don't know, mic testing is my brother's home club. Deepak Pinjani is my brother, and he is the one who pushed me to take Toastmasters. And the reason I keep coming to this club is, first thing, due to work commitments, I'm not able to attend meetings of my club, Intel Talkmasters, so frequently. So I need a club like on weekends so that I can utilize my full potential. And this is one club whose timing suits me, and even my brother visits this club because he is a member, so it becomes very easy for me. And another thing is, this club has a lot of advanced Toastmasters. That's why it's a advanced Toastmasters club. People who don't know, Bhupati sir is region 13 advisor. So mic testing belongs to region 13, and Bhupati sir is region 13 advisor. So this is the kind of advanced Toastmasters we have in this club, and I always get to learn whenever I come to this club. I get so good feedback that if I apply, I improve a lot. So every meeting is an improvement for me, and I would like to attend many more meetings in future.
Thank you. Thank you, Sweety, for that. So I would like to make a quick announcement. Today is 30th of March. The next Sunday, 7th of April, we have our division level contest. So people who are new to Toastmasters, you would know that it is not about joining meetings only. It is about the competitive spirit within us. And we as Toastmasters like to compete with fellow Toastmasters, and it goes to a level from club to area to division, district to region to, and then semifinals and then the finals. And District 92 has its division contest for Division C, which we are part of as Mic Testing Advanced Toastmasters Club on 7th April. We will add you to the guest group, and you will definitely come to know where the meeting is happening, the contest is happening, and please request you to join and participate as an audience in that specific contest, because the level of speeches you see in the contest is parallel to none. It's the excellent speakers who have won contests from club area who would be participating in the division level. So it's a good opportunity for all the guests who are joining today to witness that event and learn a bit more about Toastmasters as well. With that said, I thank everyone who have actively come together to make this event, this milestone meeting of Mic Testing Advanced Toastmasters Club, a grand success. I would like to thank Shama BN, the Vice President Education of our club, in leading this entire event from the front. Can we have a huge round of applause for her? She's like a one-man army. She's pursuing her MBA in IIM Udaipur, but in spite of her busy schedule, she has time for Toastmasters. Someone mentioned that Toastmasters is a lifetime commitment. It is a lifetime commitment that you can clearly see from Shama. Can we have a huge round of applause for timer Joshna Ramesh, without whose presence we could not have concluded our speech and the entire meeting on time. So thank you, Joshna, for your active participation. And thank you Shweta and Sweety for taking time out and delivering your keynotes and giving your insights about the power of Toastmasters and elevating your pitch and the importance of storytelling. And last but not the least, all the audience in terms of the guests who have joined in today, Sonu, Harsha, Ganesh, thank you for participating. And finally, can never miss out our own very own club members, Pavan, Deepak, and Richa, who have taken time out and participated in this meeting. And of course, Bhupati sir, who just left another meeting. So thank you everyone for joining in, making it a grand success. Please reach out to Shama. Her number is there in the chat window, or reach out to me. My number is also in the chat window. We will enable you to be part of the guest group so that you get more news about our club and the events to come in the areas under the division. Thank you. Have a great Saturday, sorry, and enjoy your lunch.